ברק!
שלום. אפשר להיכנס
היה באישור שם.
היחסים בסדר? כי אני רואה, הדלת היא לא בדיוק דלת...
לא, יחסים סבבה.
כן?
כן. לא החלפנו שום דבר כי עד שלא היה פסק דין, אבל עוד מעט נחליף.
מה תחליפו את הדלת?
את הכל, כן, מה שצריך.
This is the entrance to the ground floor of the Little Petra Inn, the annex to the historic Petra Hotel built during the 19th century on the entrance to the old city of Jerusalem. Jewish Hateret Kohanim activists got a foot in the door in March. The room being unoccupied, an eviction order wasn't necessary.
Once upon a time, this was a kosher hotel. The Jews were driven out of here. There were pogroms and riots. The Greek Orthodox Church had it for a number of years. And now it'll be Jewish concerns who bring it back, hopefully to its previous glory.
In June, following an 18-year legal battle, Israel's High Court upheld a lower court's decision from 2 years back that sanctioned the transfer of leasehold rights to both the Petra and the adjacent imperial hotels to the right-wing Jewish group Hateret Kohanim. The verdict dealt a final legal blow to the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate's efforts to fight the 2004 sale of leases.
There was an attempt to obtain a very rare legal procedure, basically a civil retrial, but there is a strong political dimension.
Property transactions in Jerusalem's old city are indeed some of the most politically fraught in the world.
You have the mutually incompatible narratives of three contradictory faiths inhabiting the same sacred and secular space in 1 square kilometer. In the United States, they have malls with more floor space than 1 square kilometer.
The Supreme Court acknowledged, quote, shadows and black holes in the moves that led to the signing of the agreements, unquote.
When you get into the convoluted transactions between Greeks and settlers, you never come away knowing who's telling the truth and who's lying. It might be a fair bet that at certain times it's everybody. It appears that this was a rogue individual in the church that did not have the authority to sell the settlers.
The presumed rogue individual was Nicholas Papadimos, the church's chief finance officer, who in 2004 had obtained power of attorney from then Patriarch Irenaeus I and was behind the sale of leases to front companies based in the Virgin Islands.
They didn't have the approval from the synod because we have this synod system, so whatever we do, we decide together.
The battle is not yet over. A Palestinian Muslim is the protected tenant appointed by the church at the Imperial Hotel, whom Hateret Kohanim is trying to evict.
And I said, God, you and I alone, keep an eye on me. Protect me from these people and keep the hotel in the hands of your church.
There's the issue of the management company, of those who are inside the hotels. What type of status do they have? So because it's still in court, it's not appropriate at all for me to talk about it.
The three central characters in this legal, political and religious battle, we shall call them the tenant, the activist and the priest, live parallel lives with opposite expectations, pretty much like the fragile cohabitation between Muslims, Jews and Christians in Jerusalem. Their paths only intersect in court.
I'm concerned about one thing. I'm concerned about the fact...
As you enter the Imperial Hotel, you're first greeted by His Beatitude, Theophilus III, 141st Patriarch of the Greek Orthodox Church of Jerusalem. Then by the manager of the property.
Moi, j'ai trois choses dans l'amour dans ma vie. La langue française, la famille et l'hôtel.
Abu al-Walid Dajani, a Palestinian Muslim, is the second-generation scion of protected tenants who leased this 19th century edifice for a renewable 99 years.
This is the contract between us and the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. My signature, my brother's signature, and the signature of the Director of Finance in the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. Our relations started in 1949. His Beatitude is a very close friend of mine. When I came to greet him, he opened his arms and he said, Mr. Dajani, you are the guardian of Jaffa Gate, and I start crying. I'm being honored to carry this title to keep the property to the Greek Orthodox Church. These two buildings, they are located on Jaffa Gate, which is the main entrance to the old city. All the other Christian denominations, they have their headquarters within the vicinity of this hotel. So can you imagine if this goes in the hands of these radical group? My property was given away for $1,250,000. Can you imagine such a property, a strategic location that 1,800 square meters, 44 rooms could be given away for 98 years and renewable for another 90 years with this small amount of money. I'm angry against also the director of the finance department who made this deal. The name of the man was Nicholas Papadimas. First, what we heard is that he ran away to Brazil for a while. These radical groups promised him lots of money, bribing. He came back to Israel now and he was looking for his monies. Irenaeus 3 years ago left and went back to Greece. He stepped down from the Patriarchate, and for almost 15 years he stayed in a room. What a shame. This is the power of attorney that he gave to the director of the finance department. All these documents has been signed by Richards Marketing Corporation. Why they should go to the Virgin Islands to evict us from the Imperial Hotel. This is the contract, lease agreement, August 16th, 2004. They have submitted 800 pages that I don't have the right to stay in the hotel. I do have a contract, a valid contract from the church. Now I'm paying the rent in court for Ateret Kohanim, because if I don't pay the rent, I will be evicted. This is my granddaughter who is going to fight the case forever.
Inshallah.
Ateret Kohanim, let them know, the whole world, that this is the coming generation. She's going to study and become a lawyer, and she will continue and carry this case. Now, the eyes of the world, the eyes of the leaders of the world, the eyes of all those people who love Jerusalem, Christians, Muslims, and Jews, they have an eye on Jaffa Gate, and they have an eye on the Israeli government. They have an eye now on the verdict. Close the Holy Sepulchre, put pressure on the Israeli government. Solve this problem.
Apropos exerting pressure on Israel, noticeably, there's been no Palestinian mobilization against the risk of eviction, as in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood in East Jerusalem.
They keep a low profile. They keep a low profile.
The Palestinian Authority.
Yes. Because the Israelis, they are absolutely angry and disappointed if you come up with the problem of the Palestinian Authority in Jerusalem. So you have to play it smart.
We follow Mr. Dajani to the rooftop, a hotel with a view with a pious image of tolerance. Tolerance, called comfort for a 78-year-old man whose entire life has been committed to tending the edifice of the Patriarchate.
Say, Jerusalem is for everybody. Let us be honest about this and let everybody live in peace, irrespective of their religion.